makes it more beautiful of a thing.
Welcome back. It's a brand new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss.
Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven. No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through from me. It's just gonna solidify everything for Mythos.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill Thor anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
SKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Lores, you're gonna be able to find these shots true.
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes an Adelaide immediately to back that fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2-3. So back and forth.
Many a brave adventurer has tried to take the dragon down in its lair, but perhaps today it will be the plague of cats that have the power to do so. We are in the E Masters division today to see what these two teams are going to bring to the table in the week before chaos strikes us in Season 15 of Overwatch, before the perks come in. This is their time for these teams to really use what they already know is going to happen. My name is Gio, joined by Nyah. We'll be covering today's EU game. Later today, you will have an NE game as well at 20:30 ET, and that is going to be the team of Vicious Unforgiven versus Amphibious Gaming. But we, of course, will be starting in EU. How are we feeling about this upcoming matchup?
Yeah, I mean, it should be definitely interesting. All the teams that are up in this scene here for today should just be a great watch. But yeah, Gio, these two teams that we have right now up in our Europe division, it should be pretty interesting.
Yes, and we're in the Masters tier today. So as we get into our match, which we already know is going to be starting on Oasis, the feeling is, what are these teams going to bring to the table? We're not in the open division anymore, so technically meta counts a little bit less, but it still matters, right? It still matters who you ban and what for. To do a slight introduction of the teams, Dragon's Gravity is a majority French team with the Belgium player of Straight there as well, and Cat Plague. Have a bit of a mix of everything there across EU. But it is the Cat Plague you'll be banning first. What do you ban first in this scenario? If you have no information on the other team, what would you ban first?
I would probably say the hazard. That's something that we got to see throughout the compositions of Overwatch so by far, but also even a damage hero. We did get to see that yesterday where a damage pick was chosen first, and I wouldn't be surprised here if we were to see that once again. But it's also interesting to say we do also have support bans, so it could basically be everywhere here. But I think my go for here is going to be a tank, and it's probably going to be Hazard.
Yeah, Hazard, of course, the topic for many a ban, the topic of the last season, pretty much, of Overwatch. Sojourn is the first pick. We saw this happen yesterday as well. We saw Sojourn get banned on the second map, so Sojourn's a very popular ban. What do you think that is?
Well, I mean, Sojourn, it takes a lot of angles, right? Uses a lot of coverage around corners, a lot of more like the poke stage variant stuff. But yeah, I think Sojourn is a good hero to take out with this band. But now Dragon's Gravity are going to be choosing, and now you have a choice in between tank and support. And maybe you do go with a tank option here. I still feel like a tank option would be smart because we're going to see possibly Brawl come out, Dive come out, even Poke could be used. But yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see. I hope it's a tank pick.
We did talk a bit yesterday about Oasis and how, that city center map, last time we were looking at it yesterday, they banned Tracer, which meant Tracer can be played on that specific map, and it kind of pushed in towards more of that Junker Queen composition we saw Nevs play on their team. Now, Dragon's Gravity are going to ban Hazard. Okay,
There it is,
yeah,
yep.
so a tank, there it is. So if Hazard and Sojourn out the way, Dragon's Gravity have made their choice. Taking out Hazard kind of gets rid of that Hazard composition that is more of a dive. Is this another situation where we have a Brawl-centric team?
Yeah, I would probably say more Brawl coming out from, both of the sides probably. But yeah, I feel like Dive is still potential here for Oasis. Pretty strong backlines in those variety compositions. But yeah, it's going to be strategic to see. Always complex. But here we go. We got the first roster, which is Dragon's Gravity.
Yeah, we've got Strad, Laxanero, we've got Spider Scarl, Petite Weed, and Nakano there. Based off of the hero introduction, it's not so much that they'd be Brawl, maybe that they prefer the older style dive. A Winston, classic. That is the bread and butter of Overwatch. But let's see the bread and butter of Cat Plague and their roster.
Yeah, and here we go. We got VA Cat Plague, a team coming in for a tough competition of today. But two DPS to look out for today is going to be Blue and Spazzy34. But as well, up on the tank line, we're going to have Inferno, which that should be an interesting matchup against Spider. But you have the supports of today, which are going to be Nuben and Kitios, which is, yeah, if you're VA Cat Plague, this is going to be a nice little scene for you.
Compared to yesterday, we've got two teams that have 5 players each. You're not really going to be seeing substitutions coming in and out like we did last game yesterday. So, with that being said, the bans become more impactful, I think so. And as we head to university, it's certainly to the drawing board of these teams as they start to feel each other out and figure out who'll be walking away with the opening map.
Yeah, and hopefully it goes good for both of them here. They definitely want to get a win out of this one. But yeah, Oasis is a great map to play a lot of variety up on, and I wouldn't be surprised if teams were to stick with a Brawl type comp, and hopefully that's something that we could see. And yeah, it's going to be Dragon's Gravity running a Ramatra composition into a Inferno Monkey from the side of VA Cat Plague. So interesting choices from both of the teams here, Gio. It should definitely be a watch for everyone here up in CGL.
Yeah, and looking at the tank choices, I don't love Ramatra at the moment. I think they lack kind of like outward control, especially up against Spazzy, who's going to be on the Reaper, and is basically just going to force them to farm, force them to block really early there. So they're just going to have to be aware of that, and you can see them like bunkering in there against the potential dive.
Yeah, and let's see what Inferno could do against this Brawl-like tank. And if you're Strutty, that's a good pick.
Yeah, I think we need to get some look into that one. Pretty much saw them invisible. Obviously, you can hear the footsteps there. They checked for the invis, found them immediately. So that's just goes to show the importance of checking for the Sombra. Now that you know that you have them, you can continue to do so.
Yeah, and both of the teams are running a Lucio up in these compositions, so you expect a lot of fast-paced, unique rotation from them. And this is always going to be exciting because a tank could just always get up into this opposition like how we're seeing right here.
Yeah, nice Vortex as well. Blocks the hack. Inferno gets burned down immediately. And suddenly, Spider's proven that you don't need 8 legs to be effective. You just need 2 to pummel down a Winston.
Yeah, wonderful stuff here from the side of Dragon's Gravity. They're running about a good 35% so far against this VA Cat Plague, and a swap going to be coming in from Spazzy up onto the cast, so this should be a little bit different for the side of VA.
And Ultimate's coming up as well. Lots from Gravity, very defensive. Coalescence as well ready from Nuben, so they'll be able to push in with it. High Noon with the speed boost coming around the corner. Point has flipped, but the High Noon did not find what it wanted. The beat just comes out there to keep the Cat Plague alive, and is doing so. That's Dragon's Gravity, I apologize. The Coalescence from the Cat Plague it was. Keeping the team up there. Spider finally goes down. You know, Dragon's Gravity, they didn't really use many of those ultimates that they had.
Yeah, and Dragon's Gravity still with 3. They did use 2 that last fight. They tried getting a cast ultimate out there, and it didn't seem to be for them. But yeah, Dragon's Gravity still with 3, and VA Cat Plague, they could probably just re-engage this and have more percentage.
Window comes out, and it's a window of opportunity for the EMP. Blue skies above, and that's Cat Plague taken out. They invest a beat against what, to be fair, is the tank out coming up from Spider. Forced out, goes down still, as Cat Plague now take the lead.
Yeah, and very, very good here from VA Cat Plague. They're now reading the opposition of Dragon's Gravity, and now it's a different team versus this Dragon's Gravity side of things, and they have these ultimates to still work with. This Primal Rage and this Cassidy ultimate should definitely be interesting, but the Blizz...
Yeah, you can't High Noon into a blizzard. You'll just get frozen up. You need a little bit of a jacket if you want to keep up there. Perhaps a scarf. Teamweed going down is the risk of running Baptiste into a dive composition. Now Winton is a little bit angry. Look at that, that's free with the Primal. Get you a 4th. Inferno, like a blaze of fury.
Yeah, he wants his banana and peanut butter if you are Inferno. That is just a true Winton main out there. And yeah, Inferno did a fantastic job on the side of VA Cat Plague. And now if you are Cat Plague, you have a great running over this team. And yeah, it's definitely going to be something to look forward to heading up into this next sector. And will there be any more changes that the opposing team could choose here against the Cat Plague? I could probably say so, and if you're Dragon's Gravity, you do need to switch something up because you only got 54%, somewhere around that, for that last one. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it needs to be more aggressed from the side of Dragon's Gravity for them to take more space against this VA Cat Plague team. But, yeah, it should definitely be a 1.
Exactly. I mean, with the Ramatra choice that they had, they kind of struggled to get like aggressive space. That's why the Ramatra of Spider was typically the last player alive. Now they've fully swapped on to the dive. High ground already taken there by Kyrgios and Nuben, both supports of Cat Plague already up and safe. You often see teams kind of yin and yang around the point here, and that's what you're seeing. Although Spider Skills already went in a little bit here. The Wrecking Ball choice, it does mean that Inferno can be a little bit more individualistic, but not to mean that they're not communicating. Perfect follow-up on that boop there. And now, suddenly, Dragon's Gravity. They're a dragon without wings, slowly becoming a lizard.
Yeah, and Dragon's Gravity, now they gotta work their way back up this, and definitely not a good look here onto the second. But yeah, Oasis, there's still multiple opportunities for this Dragon's Gravity team that they could come back, but they need to find an opening position. Probably about this, the Monkey needs to definitely launch back up into the backline to force the TP out from the carry, I would probably say.
Yeah, but you're not really seeing that. They're kind of holding their ground and they're just getting battered. Miley Cyrus with a wrecking ball, but it's Spider who's just feeling the brunt of it, just kind of holding his front line, needing to use his bubble defensively. Big Slam comes in, and there goes Petite Weed. It's only a matter of time. You're trying to win a war of attrition against Wrecking Ball, who can come into your team, get the packs, the health packs right next to it, and go back in, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, and if you are Dragon's Gravity, once again, not so good looking on the side for you, but VA Cat Plague, they are working with something here, Gio, and looking at that ult economy, they're going to be coming up on 3 ultimates, but 2 currents. Mines are hacked, though.
Yeah, mines, they're coming out. They have already split up. Oh god. Nakano finds himself in a world of hurt, running for their life. That love heart crosshair Spazzy following them. Doesn't quite get them, but the damage is already done. And Cat Plague again, they're not even using a lot of these ultimates. They're throwing the pulse bomb in just to push them into spawn, and they still get Spider.
Yeah, and VA Cat Plague are definitely just trying to work with this positioning as we see right here, but Dragon's Gravity needs to oppress this backline as much as possible here. They got this Kitsune Rush to use something, but oh,
Well, opportunity has gone and went. The beat comes out to keep Dragon's Gravity alive, but they've not been able to stay alive. Point almost flipped there. Straight just trying to do anything, really, but it's not going to work out. They've been very much put in their place. Not only 100% to 0 here, but they lost on the brawl map of the submap of this map against a dive. So I would say they really need to catch up. If they're not going to be playing dive, they need to be banning those dive characters.
yeah, I would probably agree with you, but we got to see such a phenomenal work from this VA Cat Plague team, and if you are the other opposing side, right, you gotta do something against this VA Cat Plague team because what we got to see from Dragons, it wasn't that potential team fight win for them every single time that they went in. It was just falling apart as what it was up on the point sector 2, but point sector 1, they did have some percentage. So it's gonna be something to watch throughout this series, I would probably say. But Dragon's Gravity could probably shoot their way back up into this one.
Yeah, I'll say, I know Valentine's Day is tomorrow, but certainly my heart is fluttering watching Inferno play Winston. There's just something about it. Western players, they get a lot of slack in playing Winston, but Inferno's definitely bringing us up. And for a Masters player as well, not someone in the Grandmaster or Open Division, just goes to show that you can still schmoove when you want to schmoove. Talking about that, we are going to be moving onwards. The match must go on. There will be more maps, but I think Cat Plague have in the bag at the moment. If we're going to be seeing lots more dive, Cat Plague are just looking so coordinated, and we've already seen Inferno can also play Wrecking Ball. So even if you ban Winston, you're still going to have to contest a Wrecking Ball, but then you know it's a Wrecking Ball, so you kind of put them in a box. Lots of different routes they could take.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that they could go with a different DPS lineup, maybe to counter towards that. But yeah, possibly even more of like a tank aggressive side of thing where you could just shoot your way up into that. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But to take a look, we do have our next map, and it's gonna be Eichenwald here. We did get to see this from yesterday, Geo, and yeah, it was something from yesterday. Hopefully, we don't get to see a ball ban get picked here, and then they pick the ball towards the end. But yeah, Eichenwald.
We don't need to relitigate that. They only picked it in the spawn, to be fair. Yeah, if I'm Dragon's Gravity, I'm thinking maybe try and ban something that enables a dive. If it's a tracer, or if it's like going for like the Sombra that we saw them play, banning Winston at least forces them to play Wrecking Ball, but then obviously Hazard's back open, so you know, I think they're in a bit of a tough spot, and really, I don't think a ban is going to solve the issue. I think really the issue is, like you've been saying, they need to take a little bit more initiative and not let Catplague just run the game.
Yeah, I totally agree with you here. I feel like Dragon's Gravity, we didn't get to see as much of them on that map one. Obviously, Oasis didn't go their way, but yeah, Cat Plague just really ran with it, and we got to see such a dominant performance from Cat Plague. But this Dragon's Gravity ban needs to be impressive, and I hope it's going to be something. And yeah, it's going to be something, and that's going to be the Sombra pick.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Sombra was doing pretty well. Blue was doing pretty well on Sombra. However, does Blue now go into the Genji? I see in their info that they've said Junkrat does your favorite hero's job but better change my mind. Now I'm thinking, well, are we going to see Junkrat then? Is it going to be Junkrat dive? Like, what? I feel like they've opened Pandora's box with that ban.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be something for VA Cat Plague to probably counter ban, where they could go more in the scoreline against this Dragon's Gravity team. I feel like VA Cat Plague from the map one, they knew what they were doing. They had the surroundings and the positioning all coordinated for themselves. And the way we got to see VA Cat Plague use ultimates against this other team, which is Dragons, it's been a very, very good scene so far. So either way, I don't think the ban's going to matter here. I still think VA Cat Plague are going to run with it, but I think VA Cat Plague is just going to make it harder for this Dragons team, probably.
Well, the ban is coming in, and they've chosen to ban... Ramatra? Okay. Okay, perhaps it's less that they're scared of the Ramatra and more that they recognize maybe Ramatra is one of their core choices. You remove that off of their playfield, force them into something they're less comfortable with. I wouldn't have said Ramatra was like a concern for them on University.
Yeah, and I feel like this is definitely a unique pick coming out from VA Cat Plague, but maybe this is a throwaway ban where they could kind of target more focus up on this Dragon's Gravity team going forward up into the map. But yeah, it's definitely going to be something to watch for throughout the series. But yeah, I feel like VA Cat Plague, they're cooking something up, Gio, and this is definitely a strategic, complex mindset that they have going forth.
And I've been thinking, very important question we haven't gone to yet. Do you prefer dragons or do you prefer cats?
I prefer cats. Yeah.
Okay.
Cats
I
are...
feel like that's a popular decision, yeah. I'm a dragon person myself, but it's okay, I understand the cat plague.
Yeah, I did take a couple pictures of my cat actually before the stream. So yeah, I was doing something there. But yeah, this is Eichenwald, and I wouldn't say that there are cats up in this one. It's just green grass, right? So both of the teams are gonna be touching some green moss, some green grass.
Yeah, and
but
to be fair, if there's
yeah,
going to be a dragon on any map of Overwatch, it's either going to be this or the volcano of Samoa, right? This is medieval.
Oh, yeah.
This is where adventurers would rest before their adventure into the dragon's mouth. But it's the dragon that's got to be venturing into the cat's paws, and they've decided to go with a little old classic with a Juno twist.
Yeah, I think cats are just gonna scratch this Gravity team even more. The dominant performance from map 1 was pretty unique, and definitely a scene of them. But yeah, VA Cat Plague, good looks from the map 1. Will they make better looks here on this map 2?
And this is a classic Eichenwald strat. Not having the May doesn't mean you can't really block them off. Straight already goes down. That's because Hazard's in play. one of the main reasons Hazard's been playing so much is the burst damage that they can get. Already, they've been forced into the open. Fire Strike deflected, Inferno with another slash. And suddenly, it doesn't feel like it's rain on Eichenwald. It feels like Hazard in Glasgow.
Yeah, VA Cat Plague definitely worked well with that one, and now we're approaching, basically, you're going to have 5 minutes and 45 seconds up in this time bank, which is a lot of time for this VA Cat Plague team, and you're looking at Dragon's Gravity, which the defense was not so clean from the Gravity side, and if you're the Gravity here, you gotta fix something, because the look of that first engage was all VA Cat Plague.
Yeah, you cannot let you get dived. You cannot let anyone be outside of that fist. You need to play so tight together and not let any of these dives come in. I say that as they split. And there you go. That's what's going to happen. The deflect finishes it off. And again, you just can't be splitting off. You need to be together. You have to level your engage. You can't just have your Reaper go wild into the front line.
Yeah, and now we're looking at the Cat team, and they're gonna have some ultimates here, and this is gonna be a watch for this Gravity team. They need to know that this Cat team will have these, but Inferno is gonna have that strong ultimate, which we know of, and same with Blue. That Dragon Blade could get a little nasty up in the corner. Oh!
Blue's already down, but the downpour takes out the umbrella of the immortality field, and without it, so goes the Petite Wade, and again, just slowly, they're now just losing health. The speed at which Cat Plague go in, they don't waste time. They're just in there, and they win the fight.
Yeah, and I feel like this is something that we've kind of seen from map 1, where they just target more of Dragon's Gravity and force out these things like abilities, and this is a great work from VA Cat Plague to communicate with each other, but yeah, if you're Dragon's Gravity, you've got to work with something right here, right now.
So we rush right into the window of pain. Langston just needs to be careful, but it's Blue that cleans up with 2 gone. And the overclock to seal the deal. Spazzy taking position on the high ground. This is just a steamroll.
Yeah, and VA Cat Plague, this is basically just a true dominant scene from them. If you're Dragon's Gravity, you got 3 ultimates coming back. You need an Orbital Ray, and that Orbital Ray will be popped.
Look at this cheeky little off angle of the Soldier. No wonder Sojourn's getting banned, like you said, playing from that angle, playing from that corner. Another downpour will seal the deal. Spider loses their 8th and final leg. And with 4 minutes and 30 seconds just about, the Cat Plague proved that the dragon is not the tyrant of Eichenwald. It is our purring little friends.
Yeah, you know, I think the Cat Plague are basically saying that there's a plague up in the air, and it's going right towards this Dragon's Gravity team. They aren't too good looking. I feel like there's a little bit of a sickness going on over up in their team. But yeah, Dragon's Gravity, if you want to put yourself up there in 4th, you gotta do something different. It's not been good looks so far. Oasis, you did struggle up on, but now you're up on Eichenwald, and it's a little more of struggling. You definitely don't want this same scene here, so probably different swaps coming out from this Dragon's Gravity team.
Yeah, and you know, you kind of expect this, right? Cat Plague is the #1 seed. Dragon's Gravity is the #7 seed. Also, well, this specific roster of Cat Plague hasn't. The team has been around for 3 years. The current iteration has been only a few months, but they are under the Valhalla Academy org, right? So they're fighting like Vikings. They've got that support of the org. They're under a brand name that's been around for a while. They've got good coaches, and they're proving it. Like, for a Masters team, they've got good moves. Like, I could argue that if you put this team in Grandmaster, they probably do pretty well also.
Yeah, you know, they're now gonna charge their way up into this Gravity team here as they do attack against the VA Cat Plague.
And the Sigma choice coming out here, deciding, you know what, Brawl, not really working, let's do a little bit of poke. Pharah in the sky, well, they were in the sky. The dragon's been taken out, and the cat pounces again. That wall splitting off the Sigma from being even able to try and help. And it's just more of the same. Playing a Zen backline into a dive was a little bit too brave, I think.
Though I do like the choices from VA Cat Plague. This is definitely a well-deserved #1 seeded team. I'm very, very impressed on what they've done so far throughout the series. VA Cat Plague has just shown what they could do with their true positioning tactics, and Dragon's Gravity needs to find some way around it here, and a charge or some Lucio speed to engage would probably be the go for it.
Oh, the Venture drills in. It's perfect. That's why you pick them, right? You just get in there, you drill them, you clobber them, you push them into the corner, and Hazard is getting bullied, basically, in the locker. I don't even know what's going on in there. Hazard takes one out on the way out, and it's the Cat Plague that win that hustle in the corner.
Yeah, and unfortunately the Hazard did not get out there. Hazard was just getting bullied. And if you're VA Cat Plague against Dragons, I mean, VA has just been doing a phenomenal job, Gio.
I know, and yeah, pick like that to start. Like, Newman just finds the kunais to follow up on the damage. You feel rough, and again, like, playing a Baptiste into a dive comp, you don't have a whole lot to defend yourself. At least not yet without the perks.
Yeah, and now you're going to look at this VA Cat Plague team, which still showing what they are against this with their defense. And if you're Dragon's Gravity, you really don't have any ultimates yet, but you're looking at a VA Cat Plague team, which does just go more up in a favor, and yeah.
The wall comes up to put them in a brawl arena, but it's not UFC. It is going to be the damage from the blade.
Spazzy's
Unfortunately for Blue goes down. It was messy, but like Spazzy, oh my god, finishes up.
Yeah, I mean, now your Dragon's Gravity, you only got a minute and so, and yeah, you got to work with these ultimates. It's not been such a great scene, and I kind of feel bad for this Gravity side, but you are facing a strong, dominant, performance-seeded team throughout the division so far, but VA, they're going to try and do more.
Sound barrier comes up from both sides, smashes, Blue goes down first again, Kitsune rush, but with Kadios going down also, means that she's not going to be able to speed her team around. This could be the opportunity the Dragon's Gravity need, and it is. They finally ascended past the choke. They just need to make sure that they secure the point, and with less than a minute left, there is going to be a touch. Blue gets onto the point. Oh, here comes the overclock, but they have got the point and got an overclock out, so perhaps it's their time to get momentum on their end of the stick.
Yeah, now this is actually a better look from this side here, Gio. Dragon's Gravity did cap the objective. Now they're moving this payload, and now you're seeing Dragon's Gravity with these ultimates. We haven't seen so much with their ultimates so far throughout the Eichenwald scene, but can this be the way that they fix these?
So straight on such low health there as the Hazard looms above them. Downpour again comes out, catches a lot of them, the follow-ups there. Venture taken out also, and their march up to the top of the castle gets thwarted by the defending team of Cat Plague. 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, and I really want to hype up the Gravity team. I truly do. 3 ultimates here. They can use that window, right, Gio? But as well, you have Strade, which has this Sojourn ultimate ready to go, and I feel like if you were able to combo those two, you could get some massive damage out of this VA Cat Plague team.
You say that, but here comes the Perse Genji. The Ninja Blade doing its damage. Oh my lord! All but the kitchen sink. Talking about the kitchen sink that got hit by the disposal there, and will go down, doesn't get their 5k.
Yeah, and the Blue did a great job there with the Blade, stopping this Gravity team once again. But now we're looking at the same situation, like how we've been throughout this Eichenwald scene, and we really haven't gotten to see so much from this Gravity side. But they are trying to perform something.
Yeah, performing the arts of walking into glass, but with the tectonic shock, by the way, that I remember the name of, they're able to kind of power through this, and again, in under a minute, that seems to be where this team strives. They get a little bit feisty when they're in the corner.
Yeah, and you're looking at Dragon's Gravity. They are escorting this payload. This has been probably the most that they have so far throughout this, but Dragon's Gravity, they still have 2 ultimates ready to go. They're charging up that Orisa. VA Cat Plague. They could do some some surrounding damage.
Talking about damage, there goes Straight. Right back to spawn. Hello, Inferno and Blue go down there. Laxon and Petite doing quite well to keep the team alive. Bob gets moved to the side, but arguably in a worse spot, actually. Has great view of the point. Spazzy able to just step back, fire in. The Venture, though, closes distance, doesn't do much. Spazzy is just at the firing range right now. That Viper is venomous in their hands.
Ooh.
No one can stop them. No one can claim that they are any lesser than someone who's able to just wipe
it's
an
just
entire
disgusting.
team.
Yeah, I mean, that is a true moment from the side from them, and yeah, I truly think if you are this VA Cat Plague team, the dominant showing from this #1 seeded team is just wild, I would say, Gio. They're really proving something, and I love what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, can we talk about the Danish superstar Spazzy? Not only like a 4K
Yeah.
during that, 5K, probably 2 4Ks, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if someone told me it was 2 4Ks and a 5K. They were just decimating. That team is so
cooking.
coordinated. Yeah, absolutely cooking. Like, that team just knows each other, and they've got individual parts that are just superstars. I mean, I'm picking up Spazzy, but still, Inferno's the tip of that spear. Every dive that they do, followed up with their team, you can tell the communication, nice and crisp. You love to watch a team that just knows and understands dive, and that's what Cat's Plague is.
Yeah, and VA Cat Plague doing their thing as the #1 seed, but Dragon's Gravity, Gio, they gotta try and build back up this hill. It hasn't been the scenes of what the Dragons want. But will they catch them with their breath? That's what we want to answer.
But while the Dragon's Gravity are feeling the effects of gravity and the Cat Plague reigns on top, we're going to a 2-minute break, so catch a quick snack, a refreshment, and see if Cat Plague can finish it out as strong as they remember. So we'll be right back in 5 minutes. VA Cat Plague are proving themselves to be more than just a Masters team, but the top Masters team in the division, and they are putting on a textbook Overwatch performance right now. Dragon's Gravity are up against the wall at the moment. They need to really bring something completely different out. Their brawl hasn't quite worked. Their dive was a little bit too passive. They've tried a bit of poke. They've kind of went to each of the porridges, but none have been quite right since. Nyah, look, with what we've seen so far, what can they do to try and change the complexion of this match?
I would probably still try and focus more on the aggression side. It seems to be whenever they go against this VA Cat Plague team, they know that something's going to go wrong and they got to build their way across that path because every scene that we've, gotten to see so far is they would just get taken down from the Cat Plague. And I really want to see them try and build back up here, but with the dominant performance that Cat Plague has done and shown, it's going to be a very, very hard way to get back up. And yeah, Dragon's Gravity probably just prove more aggression, try and position more often. But yeah, it's going to be a hard path for this Dragon's Gravity team.
Well, the thing is, in Dungeons and Dragons, the dragon has legendary actions, right? And that's an action when
True.
the least expect it. So perhaps there's going to be a legendary action taken by Dragon's Gravity, right? They're up against the number one seed, the team that's looking to prove themselves to be like the top team of the division. If they can at least take a map, if they can at least scratch the armor plating of Cat's Plague, then they prove to themselves and to everyone else that they might be able to do a bit of a shock come the playoffs.
Yeah, and they don't want to get eliminated by that Knight's Sword, but next map is going to be Esperanza, and we truly do enjoy these city streets of Portugal here up on the CGA broadcast, and my bad, CGL. I had a little bit of English there. Don't don't target me, prod members,
Console
but
Gaming Americas.
Dragon's Gravity. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, Gio. I can't speak for myself.
Certainly. Yeah, the CGL, the G stands for great. Or Geo, depending on who you ask. Right, Dragon's Gravity have a chance to ban a hero right now. And banning Sombra meant the Blues pushed onto Genji. I wouldn't say forced onto. They looked pretty comfortable on Genji. So the Sombra ban didn't do too much for them. I'm thinking, do you try and force them onto a specific backline? Like, do you ban Kiriko and make it more likely that they're going to go for an Anna Brig backline and like at least create that scenario for yourself, or do you ban Winston
Well,
and hope that they don't play dive?
I mean, I would probably expect the support to get banned here, and as we do see, it will be the carry, and I do like this choice. I feel like it takes out the cleanse, like how we got to see throughout the last couple maps, but as well, there's no TPing out of that way anymore for those backline supports. But yeah, VA Cat Plague, and now they're banning Geo. It's been a true form of just performance from this team. I feel like these guys could basically do anything.
Yeah, I mean, you could on Esperanza, you're probably less likely to see Reinhardt. Probably a brawl team would probably lean more towards a Junker Queen. We have seen them play Rametra. If they're going to go for a DPS, you want to ban more of the brawl types. We've not really seen Mei. I would have said Mei, but Esperanza, again, not very much of a Mei map. Venture did come out a little bit, but it seemed like a panic pick, so really the floor's open for Cat Plague, but I do imagine they'll be banning a brawl/poke character rather than a dive one. There we go.
Yeah, and hopefully, yeah, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the pick coming out, and Yeah, I gotta agree with these picks here from both of the teams. It now brings different variety up in the compositions, and Esperanza is a lot of fast pace. Like, yeah, it's gonna be something to definitely watch for. But can Dragon's Gravity get their way back up into it? They still got to work with a Lucio here, so I do expect a Lucio backline, but they could also run more of this dive variant, which is also good and seen here.
Well, it is Dragon's Gravity last chance to get a mark on this match, but they're up against a team that is not playing with its food. These cats are feisty. Perhaps they're a lion variety or a tiger variety, but they are out for blood and they have drawn it. Do
Right.
cats eat lobsters? Probably, if they can get through the armor. I would
Yeah, I mean
imagine so.
it's a seafood, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
they're cooking up
I
some
see
salt
food, I
up in
eat
that
food.
one.
Anyway,
Yeah, I
with that
mean,
ship being proudly waving all the flags of those countries, I do love to point out in EU when we get a team that has such diverse players. Inferno's Polish, Blue is English, Spazzy's Danish, Nuben is Swedish, and Kidios is Belarusian/Finnish. So each of these players are from a different
yeah,
country, and together they're the Power Rangers of EU.
that's actually a crazy reference, honestly. Power Rangers goes
I
back.
love
I
Power
remember that
Rangers. I
show.
love
I would
Power
watch that
Rangers.
all the day. Oh man. But here we go. City Streets of Portugal. We're seeing a ball variety composition coming out, and Dragon's Gravity here with Spider. They're going to be running this Winton dive, and yeah, I like the choices from the backlines here. It definitely fits the composition.
Yeah, Torb has kind of risen as your kind of anti-dive kind of character. You're a grumpy old man with a turret in the corner that won't go down. The Echo choice from Blue means they've got a lot of maneuverability, a lot of poke damage. Spider, though, not playing around. Suddenly, it's Spider who's woken up. We kind of complained that Spider was a little too passive on Winston previously. They've certainly not been passive right now.
Yeah, and if you are VA Cat Plague, now you're getting kind of pushed back, and Dragon's Gravity looking good so far up on this Esperanza matchup. But yeah, I think this composition is better for them in my eyes, but you're still gonna have a tough battle against this VA Cat Plague team, which has just been making you struggle.
Right now, they're feeling that the passion of this team is not yet over. A big sleep and anti-nade is going to push Inferno back, and they're starting to feel that, like, the French are very passionate folks, and they've got a core of French players with a Belgian and Strat, so they are definitely working together in cohesion. Inferno, though, is struggling because this backline was kind of created, right? This Dragon's Gravity backline, they basically created to happen by taking out the carry. Unfortunately, though, for this fight, it looks like Spazzy just turned the clock up, and with that lovely mythic skin on the gun of the Viper, Spazzy's just running the lobby.
Yeah, it's definitely Fluttering Roses here from Spazzy, and VA Cat Plague, they're looking good throughout the series score. Can they, finesse even more here? It's it's question and answer, but you do have mines ready to go. Nano as well up on the side of VA Cat Plague, and oh, this is interesting.
Massive dynamite forces the core back of Dragon's Gravity, creates a lot of room, and that's a nanoed Brigida. I've had nightmares about this. I remember what this was like in Overwatch 1. Lord forbid, Spazzy struggling to get much done. Here comes the Primal Rage. This is Brave that has forced a rally. I would say a rally's more expensive than the Primal Rage if you're marking it up. Spider does have to back up. They could have potentially got Spazzy. He did go low, but of course the supports were right there. They're on the back foot, however.
Oh boy, okay. Dragon's Gravity gonna get their way back up into this one. They do have Molten Core, same with Rally, ready to go, but the Bob! This could be something dangerous.
It's Blue's house right now as they donk the other Tracer back to spawn. They're about to get a forward spawn as well. And that's when the map in push begins to get a little bit more difficult when you're behind. Because that forward spawn's initiated. It's going to be a lot tougher to get control.
Yeah, and the Cats are fighting with their paws so far on the Plague and Dragon's Gravity. The opposing side, they're still trying to work with what they got here. I feel like this has been a better performance from them so far. They're just trying to make their way against this VA Cap-like team, but still, so much to look at here. This Molten Core that Dragon's Gravity has could be placed.
Oh, Laxton gets a little bit of vengeance there against Blue, brings down the house. The Sport Line keeping himself alive against a constant barraging of Inferno's Wrecking Ball. Oh, big dive there onto the backline. Can't quite finish off the Brigitte yet, as Laxton did go down when trying to follow up there. Trying to get himself some space with the mines though. That space has been split. Yeah, poor Petite is on their own. Needs to back up into the corner. You see Spider running to try and keep them up there, and Brigitte's come to them. Blue, however, taking down Strad, and again, every player you lose here is much worse than if Cats Plague do, because they still have that forward spawn active. They'll be back into the fight a lot sooner, and you're seeing that pressure overwhelm the side of Dragon's Gravity.
Yeah, and if you're Dragon's Gravity, you're now still struggling with this VA Cat Plague team, and you do have these ultimates to work with, right? You have this Primal that's getting charged up, which could be massive with the Nano here from Weed, but Stratty still with the Molten Core that could be placed basically anywhere to oppose this VA Cat Plague team to back up, and VA Cat Plague, they could basically just keep on saying no to this.
Yeah, denied. The rally does not keep Spazzy up, however. Petite Weed goes down on the side of Dragon's Gravity also. And it's Spider's trying to get a lot done here with the Primal. Takes out Nubin. Now trying to follow up, take out Kyrios. Does so, and Dragon's Gravity, they've got hold of the bot, but again, the forward spawn, they're going to get met with another fight real soon.
Yeah, and here we go. Will Dragon's Gravity be a little different so far? They did cap the checkpoint, I think, but Dragon's Gravity, now they're coming back up in this one. They got 3 ultimates, but you do get to see that Tracer get picked early there, and they will have to try and regroup, I would probably say.
The rally is looking like they're just trying to regroup in this corner. The mine splits them off, however, forces them to be passive. Spider finding Blue is very good here. Means that backline's a little bit safe until, well, Bob does something. Yeeted into the backline, forces them to back up again. Spider on low health, needs to get that healing. Huge anti-nade. Straight just about surviving, but again, the longer that they wait in this corner, the more they're just going to be barraged with hurt. The more that the defending team with Cat Plague at the moment is going to get their players back, and you see Blue already on the point. Inferno going for another swing. And yeah, takes out Strad, and that's just going to happen. Inferno finally goes down, some space created.
Yeah, and this is now a choice where if you are Gravity, you at least need something here to work for yourself, and I do like this choice, but will it be worthy of all?
Yeah, there's the backline just getting a little bit of a melt there. A little bit of butter in the pan. Let's see if they can add a little bit of bacon to this one. Nope. Does not have the back bacon for it. Laxton also taken out. And Cat's Plague, they got far, but not far enough.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and
Dragon's
here we
Gravity.
go. If you are Cat Plague, you're going to be walking back in 2 minutes and 15. They are charging up these ultimates. You're about to see this Cat Plague team with basically all 5, and Dragon's Gravity still just trying to work with what they got here. They need to try and do as much as possible against this VA Cat Plague team to get their way back up into this.
Final Rage slept temporarily. Trips the monkey up, but not long enough. They're creating the space there for the rest of their team as Inferno goes down. Again, they're trading. They're trading too much. Spazzy finds them with both the Bob and again that Viper rifle.
Yeah, and VA Cat Plague still looking very, very good here. Gio, 2 ultimates for this VA Cat Plague team to still use. They know is pretty strong right now from this Cat Plague team, as we've seen, but Pulse not getting much.
Woo! Nice and clean, takes out the Brigitte. That, of course, opens up Nubin to get taken out. But it's not clean. It's very much not clean. Even Mr. Clean could get that one sorted. Well, it's going to take the Cano to do so with a little bit of the whip shot there. But again, early spawns. This is just a constant cycle of pain.
Yeah, maybe like how you quoted, maybe they do need Mr. Clean for Dragon's Gravity. It's not been such a good look. It's been a little dirty over there. But yeah, 52 currently up in the score line. They only got 35 seconds, but Dragon's Gravity still struggling against this VA Cat Plague team, as we see.
Bulldozing into the back. Nice stick there into Spazzy. And now trying to follow up. But again, you just see the amount of pressure Inferno's giving them. Even a nanoed Tracer is not enough to burn down the rest of the backline who are just backing up. They know even with 10 seconds that they've got the advantage.
Yeah, and if you're VA Cat Plague, you're just gonna save up these ultimates, right? And the pulse. Oh my god, yo. That is so nasty.
Oh my god, Blue Tidings for the Dragon, but Blue Skies for the Cat Plague. A triple pulse bomb. What a beautiful cherry on top of a perfectly crafted cake. They took them to the bakers, they took them to the cleaners. Cat Plague wins in a very, very clean manner.
Yeah, sharp 3-0 from this Cat Plague team, and I mean, so much good scenes to see here, especially that play of the game. Such a disgusting play. It was so good from Blue in VA Cat Plague here, Gio, and yeah, just wonderful work from this side of things for VA Cat Plague. They really truly showed why they are #1 currently, and hey, if it keeps going, Gio, VA Cat Plague could just be seen with this true dominance here, possibly more forwarding throughout the rest of the season, which that's always going to be exciting.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I don't think, you know, with the performance we just saw, I don't see many Masters teams really matching the speed of Cat Plague. Like, if they play like that, if they continue to show such dominance, and not only dominance, but like actual understanding of the comps that they play, they have dived down pretty well. And that level of coordination, you don't see that in a lot of Masters teams, right? You know, outside of teams that are Masters that play in Collegiate, you're not seeing much coordination on dive as we are here. And, you know, dive, let's be honest, it's not an EU composition, right? We're known for swinging hammers and playing.
Yeah, a lot of brawl.
Yeah, we're known for brawls. So for Cat Plague to show us, hey, no, it doesn't matter. No regional bias. We play dive and we do it well. Choosing an MVP out of that one would have been so difficult. So I'm glad that we don't do it. But the fact that Spazzy got a 5k at some point, only using really a Bob to help them out in that moment to do so, I have to give it to Spazzy, the unofficial MVP, because damn, dominance from the team, but getting a 5k as well on top of it is, chef's kiss. Very good team.
Yeah, you know, I feel like Spazzy, just the player there, put really hard dedication up into this matchup for today and truly showed why VA Cat Plague could do what they could do with the coordination and communication that they have for this scene here. And yeah, the talk about a little bit of Dragon's gravity. I feel like they need to practice more forward. I know that this was a tough matchup though. You were playing a very, very strong team today, but you still got the rest of your debuts throughout the rest of your weeks here, throughout CGL, and that record could always change. So it's going to be exciting in a pace setting environment for both of the teams here. And anything could switch up. We could have upsets happen. It could just rotate and flip flop.
Mm-hmm. Yes, anything can happen, but as long as you know how to access your task manager, you can sort any issue.
Oh, yeah.
We have we have another game
Oh,
later
man.
today in the NA region. We have Vicious, Unforgiven, and Amphibious Gaming. They'll be facing off at 8:30 Eastern. Um, um, it's too late in the night for me to do math, so if you're EU, you can figure out what time that is, and if you want to be a degenerate, stay up and watch it, like I did last night while I was playing some Overwatch, then you can definitely do so, see what the NA tier is all about. But alas, that is us for today. So thank you, Nyah, for joining me on the cast. Thank you to
Of course.
Hippie, Orange, and Cry in production. Thank you to Italy for inventing pizzas, and for New York and Chicago for continuing that invention and changing it up. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Don't remember to be kind to yourself, to love yourself first of all, love others after that, and laugh loud. All right, folks, we'll see you around. Good night.